T-minus about a month until the greatest music festival that God ever created, the Millvale Music Festival, and we'll be starting that countdown right here on the greatest show that God ever created, the Mike Sasson Show. You're listening on the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com in anticipation of May 12th. That beautiful Saturday in Millvale, Pennsylvania, where great music will take over the Borough of Happiness. I'm just naming Millvale now the Borough of Happiness. I don't think they've come up with anything better. Anyways, my name is Mike Sasson. I am the host of the Mike Sasson Show. Over there is producer extraordinaire Alex Clemens.
Yo, what up?
Yo, what up? She is, again, the first ballot Internet Radio Hall of Famer. Currently, if you want to visit the Internet Radio Hall of Fame, it is outside of a dilapidated Burger King outside of Lawrence, Kansas. So if you're ever in the general Lawrence metro region, visit, bring the kids, get something nice for grandma. Also, today on the Mike Sasson Show, we will have the greatest comment in the history of comments. Now, we always love your comments. So go to the Facebook Live, the Facebook page, and comment away. But I will tell you this right now. A comment was made last week by Alex's mom that set the bar so high, I don't know if any comment will ever beat this comment. But again, try. Also, I'm going to be talking about a special moment for any comedian that happened to me this weekend. Also, the greatest sign ever put outside of a bathroom, and fellas, ladies, where we all love to listen to Alex's bar thoughts and experiences. And today is a very special bar thoughts and experience because Alex is back out there on the dating scene, and she's going to be giving us an update of how things have been going. It's going to be wonderful. And also, I asked Alex to watch some winger videos from the 1980s. So we're going to see exactly what Alex thinks of those. Again, you're listening to the Mike Sasson Show on the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com, or you're watching right now on Facebook Live or on Facebook after the fact, or you're listening on TuneIn Radio across the planet Earth, or on one of the many podcast formats, either iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play. There's just... If you don't, I hate when people, and I don't know if you get this too, Alex, people will sit there and you say, oh yeah, I'm part of the show, the Mike Sasson Show. And they go, oh, how can I listen to it? And you're like, there are 72,000 ways to listen to this show. Wow, how
mean of people to ask how they can listen to our show.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I mean, I'm just saying to the point to where it's so easy at this point to listen to the show. It's almost criminal if you don't. Now, personally, I'm trying to make it criminal at state and federal levels to not listen to this show.
Right.
But we're hoping that bill passes in Congress. Again, thank you very much for everybody out there. I had a very unique experience this past weekend at one of my comedy shows. I was out in beautiful Cheswick, Pennsylvania. And so I walk in to the venue, and I meet with the organizer of the event. And when I met the organizer of the event, they had printed out posters, and my picture was on the poster. And so she goes, hey, I had something that I wanted to tell you. When your picture was on the poster, a person came up to me and said, hey, Mike Sasson's going to be at the show?
Aw.
And I go, yeah. And he goes, all right. I love that guy.
Aw.
And so he goes, so guess what? You have a fan. Now,
just one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Being someone that I'm 280 pounds of self-loathing, I sat there and I said, oh, that must be the one. But I just have to say out there, if you're that person that was very excited that I was visiting Cheswick this past weekend, thank you very much. I hope you listen to the show.
I'm so excited for you, Mike.
Well, I
that's
believe
a big thing.
That is a very big thing to have a fan.
Yes.
Now, there are other people that follow my career that have been that have gone to multiple numbers of my comedy shows, and I appreciate every one of them. But just know, whenever you do say to somebody, "Hey, I like that guy," it will get back to me because it's an unusual occurrence at this point.
Yes.
So just so you know, whoever that person was, I really appreciate it. A person that I also appreciate are all of our fans who do comments. So at the end of the show, we comment away, and we call the segment Comment Your Ass Off. Now, after the fact, Alex's mom comments because I guess she watches or listens at work.
Yeah, because this is like a little bit, this is getting to be like too late for her to watch because she's not up at like 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And she likes to like watch it fully without any distractions or anything like that. So she usually watches it on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, and so she comments away. And just so you know, even if you comment after the fact, we do read the comments and we will respond to them
And
like we're going to do right now.
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about last week was I just made an offhanded remark about Danish porn. I didn't even know. I assumed that there was porn out of Denmark. I didn't know if it was any. It just sounds like it would be a little bit more, rough and tumble because there's always been German porn.
Yeah, like German dungeon porn.
Yeah, or like they poo on each other and stuff like that. Like the Scheiße. Anyways,
the best kind of porn.
Yeah, the best kind of porn. Anyways, so Alex's mom, while listening to the show, commented, and will you read said comment?
I will absolutely read.
And
her
now
comment.
I need you to do it in your best Kathy Clemens voice.
Oh, I'm not very good at that.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we sound. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not very good at that.
Okay.
I'll just read it how I would read it.
All right.
Saw Danish porn from a friend in college that lived in Denmark. Was very disturbing. Lots of animal stuff.
That is the greatest comment in the history of this show.
My favorite thing is that this is not her first porn comment that we have had.
Okay.
She's also talked about how she got caught with a porn magazine in class.
Yes.
Do you remember that comment?
Yes, absolutely.
So I talked to her about this because I saw her the other day, this Danish porn thing. She brought it up. I did not.
Okay, so she immediately saw you and said, "Let me tell you about the Danish
please,
porn thing."
Yes, I need to tell you about it.
Yeah, you were in church too. It was weird.
So her friend, they called him Denmark. She was like, I don't even know if he was from Denmark or whatever. But anyways, they called him Denmark. And he showed them Danish porn, like this magazine. And she was like, it was one of those things that was just so disturbing that like you couldn't look away from. You know what I mean? And it was just like, yeah, she said like a lot of animal, just like extremely like brutal, disgusting things.
What's so weird about those kind of situations is like, especially it happens in college a lot because that was really when I was like exposed to really getting into porn. Like the first time I ever saw real porn was in college. And the first time you see it, you are kind of like, whoa. And then the internet happened, and then just the floodgates happened. So especially back in, like your mother went to college in like 1997. So the thing about it, I'm being nice. Anyway, so she obviously, it was like how I went in the sense that there was videotapes, there might have been movies. It was like, so for her to see that back then before the internet age, that was, even more disturbing because now you're just like, oh, yeah, Danish porn. You just Google it and boom, there you go. So for her to see it, that's even more incredible.
You know what's funny is that I obviously grew up more with the internet than you did. So I had seen porn on the internet before I went to college. In college was actually the first time that I ever saw a porn DVD.
Yeah, but that was that.
So it was the opposite for me.
Yeah, I was part of that transition because like back then it was like the entire floor of the dorm had like 3 tapes.
Yeah.
And we all shared them.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. It's what happened. And now, but it was amazing that eventually one of my friends did get a DVD porn. And he talked about it like he had just discovered fire.
Yeah.
Like he was just like the resolution's perfect. You could pick the angles. Get like commentary from the director. It's all sorts of great stuff. So again, kudos for Ms. Clemens. Thank you very much for the comment. And
I'm gonna just show it one more time just so people can really take that all in and then also give us just as good of comments.
Yeah, just marinate in that greatness. Now, someone else that we need to marinate in their gritness is I do an open mic in Oakland every Tuesday to work because I try to connect with the college kids.
Right, yeah. Got to get in that younger crowd.
Yeah, always, absolutely.
I thought that's what you were trying to do with the show.
Most of the people that listen to this show are prisoners in like prison camps overseas. So we got that.
I need to start writing them letters.
You do need. Well, you need to at least like give them like, hey, Alex, keep up the good work here. Whatever. Anyway, so. They apparently the places that I frequent and do comedy in are not exactly the Duquesne Club downtown.
Right.
They're places in which apparently drug use is very, very prevalent. So much so that someone, I guess, got sick and tired of people doing cocaine in the bathroom. So in the same breath that Ms. Clemens's comment was the greatest comment of all time, this was the greatest sign ever put outside of a bathroom that I'd ever seen. So if you could put that up.
Yes.
And just so everyone at home who might not have the visual medium can read it, what does it say?
Jesus wouldn't do cocaine in the restroom.
That's exactly right. Jesus wouldn't do cocaine in the restroom. Now, couple questions. Would Jesus do cocaine at all? Is it the problem that Jesus wouldn't just do cocaine in the bathroom? Would he feel that clogging up the bathroom with his cocaine usage is more of a sin than actually doing the cocaine? I don't know. But this sign, in my opinion, if you're really on the edge of like, hey, should I do cocaine in the bathroom or shouldn't I do cocaine in the bathroom? And you see a sign with our Lord and Savior saying, ask the question, would Jesus do cocaine in the bathroom? I think you have to ask that question of yourself. Like, let me just, I would go with no. I don't believe that Jesus would do cocaine in the bathroom. Alex?
I don't know.
You're a 50-50 on that?
I'm definitely 50-50.
Would you feel that if, where do you feel is the nicest place to do cocaine? I would say in a party amongst friends.
Yes,
the bathroom,
in an orgy, you mean?
In an orgy, I guess, with after sex, before sex, that could be something. Before, Except, I don't know.
I don't know.
Do it during. Who cares?
Yes, yeah. That's probably the best way.
Yeah, they always talk about, like, they say the highest form of, like, rock stardom is doing cocaine off a stripper's butt.
Yeah.
Now, my only issue would be, you'd have to make sure that it's a little rounded and, all that kind of stuff so it doesn't fall off. But again, if you could do cocaine off a stripper's butt, that would be. Now, would Jesus do cocaine off a stripper's butt in the bathroom? Ooh, now we're talking theological questions that I don't think anybody could ever really figure out.
Yeah, I don't know. This sign definitely would make me think twice. Mm-hmm. Would it necessarily make me not do it? Probably not.
Let me ask you a question. How hot would a guy need to be if he said, "Hey, I want to do cocaine off your butt"?
I don't know.
Not even that hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has cocaine.
I mean, just not creepy, I guess.
Yeah.
Not just some random dude comes up to me in a bar and is like, hey, I want to do cocaine off your butt. And I'm like, I don't even know you, dude.
Okay, as a pickup line, would you rank that 1 through 10? 1 being the worst pickup line ever, 10 being, oh my God, your panties are so far down on the ground it like smash, like they're just boom.
Okay, that never happens.
Okay,
no one's pickup lines are that good.
But that's the level.
Yeah.
The pickup line of a guy coming up to you saying, hey, I got cocaine. I'd love to do it off your butt.
But then I don't get any of the cocaine. If the follow-up is, and you also get some, then great pickup line, I think. And also, like we've talked about before, it really depends on how hot you are.
That's what I'm saying. How hot would the dude need to be in order to get that?
Like 1 to 10, I would say probably a 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Paul Rudd comes up to you and says, I want to do cocaine off your butt.
Paul Rudd's like a 16.
Okay, so again, but you'd have to be that level of hot in order for that line to work.
That level of hot being Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I feel like no one else would agree that with me. That
You're
Paul
huge.
Rudd was
You're a
16.
gigantic Paul Rudd guy.
Yeah.
Woman. Whatever. You're whatever you want to be today, Alex. But no, so okay. They said that back in the day, Frank Sinatra used to eat scrambled eggs off women's backsides.
What the hell?
Yeah. Apparently
Why?
Because that.
What if he burnt them?
That's my thing. You'd have to make sure that it was cold enough to where you didn't cause permanent damage,
But,
or
like,
or is
why-
that the beginning of the tramp stamp?
Why are you even doing? What are you getting from that? What are you getting out of that?
Something sexual. You're eating a food
I
substance.
gotta eat something more sexual, like cake.
Cake, you're saying is level. Would you say that's the sexiest food? Is cake? What's sexier, pie or cake?
Oh, to eat off of a person?
Yeah.
I'd say cake.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a debate. I don't.
I
think,
mean, obviously,
that's
like-
like that Jesus cocaine debate. That's a very interesting. What is a sexier?
I feel like whipped cream and like chocolate syrup would probably be like the best thing.
My only problem with that is
It's sticky.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
But then you get in the shower and then that whole thing happens. But I'm just saying,
You get the cocaine and you don't care.
Cake or pie? I mean, like a nice cherry pie.
But I feel like that's a little bit more difficult to eat off of someone, and you run into the same thing, that it would be sticky.
Well, you'd have
Cake's not
frosting.
going to be as sticky.
You'd
though.
have frosting on a cake. That gets sticky.
Yeah, I guess.
The whole point is you eat and then you go into the bathroom and you go in the shower and then you're together and then baby making happens.
Right. So if someone was like, "Hey, you should bring over some cake tonight to eat off of my body," would you buy a whole cake to take over? A whole cake? Would you just bring a piece of cake? What would you bring that cake in?
See, that's the thing. What type of cake would I bring? Would I want to
That's-
invest?
yeah, also.
Would I want to get a smash cake, like something that's maybe not that expensive? Because again, it's not really the taste of the cake. I mean, again, it's more or less just, I don't know. I mean, what's the classiest type of cake in which you would get like the woman to be like, oh my God, this is the type of man that I want to be with. Look at the cake he brought to eat off my butt.
Yeah,
There's a lot of questions.
I think presentation is a big thing, though. How you're presenting the cake.
What would you write on the cake?
Oh, I don't know if I'd write anything.
You wouldn't write anything? You wouldn't be like, face down, ass up, something like
No,
that?
but I want it to be like the person comes over and has it in like a golden cake container.
How about if it was a golden butt? Like it opened up and it went,
Aw,
There you go.
how cute.
Yeah, so that's why there should be specific bakeries late at night open just for the body-eating cake.
Butt cake eating.
The butt cake thing. That would be in Lawrenceville. Someone's going to open up a butt cake place or somewhere near the universities.
I'm going to open it up.
There you go.
That's a great business idea for me.
Okay, we have so many great business ideas. I think butt cake opening, because it'll be open late, so obviously it would be there for the butt cake aficionado. But I don't even think, I would agree with you because cake is softer. Like you have like hard crust, and I think that might be a little
Yeah,
bit.
and I feel like just the inside of the pie would just be everywhere.
Yeah.
And it'd be so sticky.
Okay. Who would cut the cake? Would you make her?
That's
or
what
him?
I'm asking. Would you bring a whole cake, or would you just bring a slice
I'd
of
have
cake?
to bring a whole cake.
So you think if someone showed up with a slice of cake in like a plastic bag, you would be like, no.
Yeah, you're becoming like, you're almost like a degenerate. You're like, would you stop at a 7-Eleven or something like that? Would you pull that out of a dumpster? I mean, you got to bring a whole cake.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you leave it in the fridge, and then she has a nice snack for the next morning.
Exactly.
There's so many things that go
Or
into.
she can use it with the next guy.
Exactly. Wait. Well, okay. If someone brought over ass cake and ate it off there, would you sit there and just be like, hey, my thing is I'd like it when dudes eat cake off my butt. By the way, there's like 3 in there. Pick one. And then the guy's like, oh, my God, this woman like has people eat cake off her butt like every day. Do you think that then you're becoming a cake floozy?
Yeah, that might be a little weird.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you need like a separate refrigerator just to keep like a secret one? To where
I just have like a refrigerator next to my bed that has multiple cakes in
Yes.
it. And just like open it up.
Would
It's like a box of condoms, but a fridge of cake.
Well, how about this, though? How about the fact that, like people save their wedding cake? Would you save the cake in which your future husband and the father of your children ate off your butt for the first time?
Yeah. I
Like
think
you
that
keep
would, and that's the cake that we also cut at our wedding?
Will it be the same type?
No. Same cake.
Same cake?
Yeah. I buy a really large cake for everyone, and that guy who is my future husband, I keep that cake. We cut it at our wedding.
And then he eats it off your butt.
Again.
Again.
Yes, at the wedding.
That's the wedding. Yeah, it's a progressive wedding.
Okay. I mean, if anyone's going to have one, I feel like it might be me.
You know, we started with a sign about Jesus doing cocaine. That's why this show is the greatest show in the history of internet radio. Another reason why is because Alex is back on the dating scene, and she's going to tell you how it's going in her fresh new installment. You can smell the freshness of her brand new Bar Thoughts and Experiences. It's the Mike Sasson Show. Remember, May 12th, it's the Millvale Music Festival. Me and Alex will be hosting right behind us at Mr. Small's Theater, where some of the best bands on the planet Earth will be there performing for you. It's going to be incredible. May 12th, starting at 6 p.m. here, but starting at I think in an hour or so they start the show. I mean, it's an amazing day. It's an incredible day. It's probably going to be. And last year was just off the charts, so it's going to be great. So you're listening to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com, a sponsor of the Millvale Music Festival. My name's Mike Sasson. That's Alex. We're going to be back with Bar Thoughts and Experiences right after this.
Brian Crawford letting you know that Kevin Slogic, my State Farm agent in Allison Park, is here to help life go right and reminds you that you're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network.
You're listening to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com, a home of the best local music and the best talk. It's the Mike Sasson Show. You'll be listening to it on The River's Edge, or you're watching us on Facebook Live, or on Facebook after the fact, or you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio, or you're watching us on YouTube, or you're listening to us on many of the podcast formats, either iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Thank you very much for everyone that supports the show, and thank you very much for Millvale for being special, because on May 12th, it's going to be the Millvale Music Festival. Alex will be there. I will be there. Alex will maybe bring her future date there, because Alex is back in the dating scene, and she's going to be telling you and giving you that update today on Bar Thoughts and Experiences with Alex. Alex, play your song.
Maybe y'all can relate. My style's dope any way that you slice it. It's a fresh cut, hope that you like it. About to open up a can of some cancer.
So, Mike.
So, Alex.
Last Monday night, doesn't really matter what time of day it was.
Okay.
I made my official return to the dating scene by re-downloading Tinder.
There you go.
Yes, and it's been just a whirlwind of emotions and
just emotions
fun,
and fun and screwed
and
up
tears
and just realizing that most people are total scumbags. The reason
No.
why I've been looking forward to this is I saw Alex on Wednesday, and I said, "Hey, Alex," and you looked at me and you went, "I'm gonna have a ton of stuff to talk about," and I'm like, "Okay, we might have the whole show just about this then. I won't write anything." But okay, so you re-downloaded Tinder.
I re-downloaded Tinder.
Now, just for the people, there might be some people that aren't necessarily familiar with Tinder.
I did have to explain it to my mom this past week.
Okay, so explain it like you're talking to your mom to everyone else.
Well, guys, Tinder is a dating app, not just for hooking up, but to meet
it's totally for hooking
local singles in your area.
It's totally for hooking up.
And it's very easy to do. All you have to do is judge people on their looks and swipe left or right.
Right meaning
yes.
Let's get it on,
Let's
and
get
left
it on.
meaning I hope you never reproduce. You're ugly.
Please don't ever talk to me.
Now, what percentage would you say? Now, do you get like the percentages that you say you throw right, left? Like you'll say you're 50-50 or you're 80-20. What do you think you are right now?
Do they do that?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh, I would say probably, like 80-20. Like 80 being I swept.
You
left.
swept. Okay, so 80% of men you see on Tinder, get them out of here.
Get out.
Now, okay. What are your criteria? Because you put in like the area and like certain things. What are your criteria?
Men.
Okay.
I think my ages. I put like, I used to have it lower, and I was like, I don't want to ever meet anyone under 21. Like, what's the point? How am I gonna ever be with anyone that's under 21? First of all, because they can't even drink with me, and who cares about that?
Okay, so 21's your base.
Yeah. And I don't remember what I put as the higher one. I don't know, maybe like 35 or something.
Okay,
like
so the oldest is, so it's 21 to 35. Anything else? Because sometimes women get in trouble because they put height requirements, educational requirements, all this kind of stuff.
I didn't even know you could do that. I just put, I think it's 10 miles.
Okay.
'Cause that's the farthest I'm willing to drive to see anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it.
Okay, so within 10 miles of Alex at any time and 21 to 35.
Yes.
Now, when it came up, How long did you go through it? Was it like an hour? Were you just constant? Because I know guys that will just be sitting there at the bar, and it'll be just an activity that they do when they're bored.
Yeah, it's really easy for me to match with people. It happens very fast.
Who took your picture? What picture did you put up?
Oh, I'll show you. I have 6 pictures.
Ooh, okay.
And they're all amazing, but I just have the one to show you.
Okay.
It's my Facebook profile picture right now of me with a little whiskey in my hand, my leather jacket, looking down. Great picture of me. Shows off my hair, which is what people really care about. And my little bio says that I am Alexandra, 24. It still says I go to Point Park University. I cannot change it. I cannot change it to have like my job there. But I think I'll tell you later why I don't want that.
Okay, but here's the thing. Now it becomes like, are you a graduate student or something like that?
I know. That's why. But I can't change. It won't let me change it.
I bet you it will. It's just,
No.
Oh,
I tried multiple times, and
Okay.
it just like doesn't save.
Okay.
My bio says I've been changing it up like every day because I still haven't found one that I liked. But it says, if you have a beard, there's a 90% better chance of me swiping right. Come at me with a more interesting idea than dinner and drinks, or don't come at all.
Wow.
Yep.
That's just laying the gauntlet down.
So I didn't come up with that second part. One of my friends helped me and went through my Tinder and changed it. Because I originally had a thing about getting tacos and drinks like that, or like the only things that I liked were tacos and drinks. And then everyone was like, hey, want to go get tacos and drinks? And not that I don't want to get tacos, 6 days a week, but, the same date kind of gets old after a while.
Well, let me ask you then, okay, if you were to create, and like you're imagining in your head the perfect man that reads this.
Yeah.
Describe that perfect man.
Okay. About 6 foot.
6 foot.
Let's say 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yeah, that's
All right.
exaggerating.
With a beard.
Obviously with a beard, dark hair, beautiful green eyes.
Okay. What's he do for a living?
I don't know. I was just caring really about looks.
Does he have like a corporate job, or is he more
No.
of an art job?
A little bit artsy, but also like works with his hands.
Okay.
Does
he live like a hipster kind of cool lifestyle, or is he
somewhere in between.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too hipstery, but not too like.
Does he work out? Like, is he
corporate-y.
jacked?
Yeah. He's not super jacked.
Okay.
He's just like soccer player jacked.
Soccer player jacked. Like, he
You know?
can't like throw up 450, but he can run for 90 minutes and
He has nice arms.
chase after a ball.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe he plays an instrument.
okay. What instrument would be the sexiest instrument for you?
Either guitar or drums.
Okay. Drums is not usually a sexy instrument.
Oh, but have you ever seen people who play drums like their forearms? Amazing.
Yeah, that could also mean that they masturbate a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, how else do you get good at drums?
Is by masturbating, absolutely. So, so you're saying a musician type, 6 foot, not jacked, but put together, has money, but has kind of like works with his hands, carpentry type thing, makes his furniture, stuff like that. Mid to late 20s, probably, kind of like the belt high fastball for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like my men older.
You want your men a little bit older.
A little bit older.
Yeah.
I don't want a 60-year-old.
Yeah, you don't want a 60. But you know what? Again,
But if they come along.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's like in his late 40s.
He's not 60, though.
But late 40s, you didn't even, like Paul Rudd was hanging out in Pittsburgh, you wouldn't get him right now.
Right. I should probably change my requirements so that I can get all of the DILFs,
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. And then you think about the DILF level in terms of you'd get maybe divorced dads who've got nice cars, nice money, all that kind of stuff, more life experience, they know how to bang, stuff like that.
Yeah, but also they could be boring.
They have life experience.
Doesn't mean that they won't be boring. But...
Okay,
yeah,
so,
and then their pictures have to be very specific.
Okay, what are you looking for in a picture?
I honestly, as long as you don't look douchey,
Okay.
and as long as you're not wearing a 412 shirt,
So what are some douchey signs?
douchey signs.
412 is a douchey sign.
Absolutely.
All right, what else?
Mainly because they're, my competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Anything where you are with like a group of friends and you're like, what up?
Okay.
One of those pics.
Mm-hmm.
Or like all of your pics are with your frat bros.
Okay.
every single one of them.
All right.
I don't like people who every single one of their pictures is a group picture.
Okay.
Why are you doing that?
Shirt
That
off.
seems like you're self-conscious.
Shirt off on a boat, really stylized hair. Douchey?
That can go either way.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying not douchey. But that's the problem is sometimes, again, every woman, you want something a little bit more real, but certain women want to flash a little style, that kind of stuff.
I mean, like, if you want to show me your abs in a cute way,
Like-
totally for that.
like chopping wood or
Yes.
something like that with
Yes.
a puppy.
Yeah. See, I have gotten out of the puppy thing a little bit
Really?
because I feel like so many people know now that, like, that's a thing.
Okay.
That, like, people are more likely to swipe right if you have a picture of you and your puppy, that people are overusing it. And
Okay.
they, like, just get random fucking puppies, or, like, they think that that's all that girls care about is that they have a dog. Like, I don't really care if you have a dog. I don't.
Let me ask you, some other questions. Okay. If a dude, let's say, is divorced, is that a knock against him?
I don't know if anyone would tell me that.
Okay, but I mean, you meet the guy. He's like, yeah, I'm just coming out of a divorce.
No, I don't think that would be a knock against them.
Dude has a kid.
Depend.
See, okay, I'm being honest.
It's definitely less of a chance, but still not. I'm still not rolling it out.
See, my thing with if when I've talked to my female friends, if he goes out with person, I always say that history repeats itself. So if you're dealing with a guy that has a kid and isn't necessarily taking care of it, or is kind of still living a frat boy lifestyle, and the kid is somewhere in the city and he's still kind of like doing like a job that a 24-year-old kid would do, and he won't grow up, then guess what? He's not going to grow up with you. You're not going to. That's the old women want to tame the bad boy type.
You
deal.
can still,
have some
have
fun.
fun.
Yeah. So are you looking for fun, or are you looking for someone that you can have a meaningful relationship with?
Fun.
All right.
I don't like feelings.
Feelings are,
Boo.
Boo. All right. Have you had an official date with any Tinder matches yet?
I have not.
Okay.
But I will tell you one of the big downfalls so far that I have seen is, number one, I have obviously realized even more that I have no memory whatsoever.
So about half the guys you've met before.
Kind of. So, and I'm like, I presume that none of these people will actually go out of their way to know me well enough to where they would ever watch this show. But there's been a couple dudes who were like, oh my God, I've seen you before. One person recognized me from my job's Instagram page.
Okay.
And decided to just bypass Tinder and message me on Instagram. Not a good move.
Not a good move.
Nope. Because I didn't match with him on Tinder.
Okay.
Like, if I don't match with you, I don't want to talk to you.
Absolutely. Should just drop dead.
Jesus Christ. There was another dude who remembered me from when I was 16 years old.
Ooh.
I met him twice when I was 16.
Damn.
Yeah. Granted,
Nice.
he's, like, still friends with people I was friends with in high school, but remembered me. He, like, messaged me. He was like, dude. And I was like, hi. And he was like, oh. I told him, I was like, I don't remember. I don't know where I met you. Like, I feel I'm going to feel like a dumbass once you tell me, because I feel like I'll remember.
Okay.
But I didn't. He was like, oh, I met you when you were 16 and we, like, had mutual friends, blah, blah, blah.
Has anyone been extremely forward? Has anyone just been like, hey, let's hook up, let's get it going?
No, men are usually never like that on there.
Okay.
And if they are, it's usually, like, distasteful. Like,
Okay.
they're not doing it in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, people are nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
People are typically actually very nice to me.
Well, I would say that most people should be nice to you, Alex.
Yeah, I've been trying to be the first person to message a person.
Okay. So far we're saying no dates, but again, you will keep us updated, and obviously
Absolutely.
as these dates happen, we will hopefully these go great for you, but if they don't, then we'll turn it into comedy and we'll make fun of them.
I had someone match with me today, and they sent me a great message that I will show everyone.
Okay.
I did not include their name.
Okay.
But anyways, they said, I don't have a beard, but we match. And then they sent a picture of Joey Tribbiani from Friends, and it said, "How you doing?" And I was like, "Yep, you did it. Even though you don't have a beard, you did it right."
So at the end of the
if
day,
you just include Friends, there you go.
Include Friends references and be attractive, and you've got you're halfway there to Alex's heart. Thank you very much, Alex. That was Bar Thoughts and Experiences. Next up is my 5 takes. Play my song. Here's my first take, and I've discussed this in the past, that I believe that adult film stars should understand that the people that follow their social media are there to look at beautiful women in states of undress. So one of the people that I do follow is a woman named, her adult film name is Tegan Presley. If you can put up her picture.
Absolutely. Give me just 6 seconds.
6 seconds to find a picture of Tegan Presley. She
Okay.
is, I would say that she's...
She related to Elvis?
What's up?
Is she related to Elvis?
No, it's her fake name.
Oh.
So, but that's how she got the name, kind of deal. Would you say a very attractive woman?
Yeah.
Okay, she's in a bikini in this picture. She's
8
an
out of
adult
10.
film star. You can look at her work. She's extremely talented. But then she did something which I just find insanely creepy. For her Throwback Thursday, she showed a picture on her Instagram of her when she was like 5 years old.
I wonder if this does anything for anyone.
I hope not. That's really awful. When I saw this, I was like, don't do this to me. Don't put a picture of you when you were a little girl holding a puppy.
Just trying to humanize yourself,
No, don't. But again, there's
what
so
would
many.
be like the cutoff age of like a Throwback Thursday?
But I would say you're still in the adult film industry. Like, okay, here's a picture from me in my beginning of my adult film industry career.
Okay.
But like, I don't want to see like your high school prom photo. Like one time a girl put her high school prom photo on there and she goes, "I can't believe it. This was only 4 years ago." And I'm like,
Oh.
I am such a creep. And
Yeah.
now she's doing like insane stuff on adult films.
Oh.
And I'm just like,
And you're watching it.
and I'm watching it. And I'm 4 years later. I'm just like, God, it's like when you go to a strip club and the stripper starts telling you about her kid.
Yeah.
I understand that you're a human being and that you're whatever, but again, I'm here for a fantasy. And if you're sitting here saying, "Yeah, my husband, my boyfriend, he's a piece of crap. He's on heroin. I gotta do this because my mom's on chemo. You want to dance?" And I'm like, you're complete. I'm not in the mind frame right now.
No.
So again, Tegan Presley, thank you very much for being beautiful, but please hold off on the pictures of when you were 5. Number 4. If you are a kid with a nut allergy, or if you have a kid with a nut allergy, it's not my fault or the world's fault, and you have to kind of handle it. The reason why this happened was there was a mom who writes a blog, and she was talking about that she was at Target, and her kid was in a cart while eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And a woman came up to her and started screaming at her, calling her the worst mother in the history of the world, because how dare your kid have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a public place when there are kids with nut allergies. And so she wrote on her blog, "Isn't this incredible that someone did this?" Instead of people saying, "You're right, people are kind of strange," moms inundated her with like, "No, you're the worst person in the world. How dare you do this?" And I understand that there are people with nut allergies. I understand that if I had a child with a nut allergy, I would be very, very protective of the kid. But you have to understand that it's not the world's job to adjust to your kid's allergy. It's kind of your job to protect your own kid.
And like, there's so many allergies out there that like, how you wouldn't be able to live your life because you'd be constantly like worried about everything that you're doing if you're going to make someone else have an allergic reaction.
It's kind of the same thing with like, let's say this show. This show is not for children. This show is not, like you've said that your little cousins sometimes watch this show, but they have to watch it with mute because they just want to see you. And that. But again, I agree with that. I would not show this to my 5-year-old niece. This is not a show for children. This is on the internet. This is for adults to laugh at adult stuff. But I hate it when then kids sit there and say, parents would sit there and say, you realize kids can see this. I'm like, so we have to adjust all of our entertainment for kids?
Yeah.
But that's what they want. And so here's again my point. It's your job to make sure your kid doesn't see things that they shouldn't, and it's your job to make sure that your kid doesn't eat or touch things that they shouldn't. So
I'm like super sometimes conscious about it because my sister is allergic to peanut butter and like a bunch of nuts. And I think about it like if I'm eating, like I won't eat peanut butter like if I'm on a plane or something like in a crowded area because of that. But I don't think of all of the other allergies that people have. The only reason I think about that one is because I
does
know
your
someone
mom
with
like
it.
knowing that your sister is allergic to nut? Does your mom like run around like places going, don't anybody have any nuts?
No, honestly, I honestly forget that my sister's allergic to peanuts. Like,
do you
a lot of
have
times.
peanut butter in your home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I didn't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich until I was 18 because of it. Because we didn't used to have, like, growing up, I didn't used to have
And the
peanut
first
butter.
time you had it, what was your thoughts?
Yeah.
You're like, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Well,
reason
not
why
my
this is-
favorite thing in the world, but yeah, I can see what people are doing this for.
Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, so that's that take. Number 3, and this isn't even funny. This is just a point I wanted to make. We're sending missiles into Syria. We sent 112 Tomahawk missiles into Syria. Each one of those missiles cost approximately $1.87 million. So in total, to launch all those missiles, it was $224 million. To put that into perspective, we could fix all of the pipes that are producing lead water in Flint for $55 million. So whenever anybody says, oh, we don't have the money to fix the roads, we don't have the money to make sure that kids aren't drinking lead in their water. Oh, yeah, we do. We just decide to build insanely wonderful missiles instead of making sure that we're not drinking lead in our water. Okay, so let's just realize we have the money. We just decide to buy other stuff with it. Number 2, I'm watching a documentary on HBO about Elvis Presley. And it's called Elvis Presley, The Searcher.
Okay.
The whole point of the documentary is he was someone that was always out there looking for, he was always looking out there for different influences, all this other kind of stuff. Now, one of the things that's always gotten me about Elvis, and if anybody bashes Elvis, they always talk about the fact that he, quote unquote, stole other people's music. That he was, they call him the king. All he did was rip off black people's music and blah, blah, blah. Here's my take. He was influenced by it. Everyone has influences, though. I am influenced by David Letterman and Howard Stern. Am I ripping them off? No, I'm influenced by them. I'm doing a show that is influenced by me growing up and watching those things.
Right.
You have influences. Elvis had influences. Everyone has influences. If the world now somebody would sit there and say, yeah, but it's not fair that the original artist didn't get known and Elvis did get known.
Right.
But the thing is, if Elvis would have never sang those songs, then no one would have ever known these people.
Exactly.
Except when Elvis did sing them, eventually people went, hey, let me go listen to the source material, and eventually these people did get some notoriety. So, again, just because you have influences doesn't mean you're stealing something from somebody. And number 1 is, if you ever want to cut carbs, it's really, really hard. Because, I've been trying to do that because I'm trying to be less chubby. And that's what I always say. I'm not trying to lose weight or be, get thin. I'm just trying to be less of what I am. And one of the things I've decided to do was cut out carbs, cut out bread, cut out all that kind of stuff. Pretty much you realize when you try to do that, everything at fast food places has bread in it.
Yeah.
Everything at fast food places is breaded. Everything, it's really you're down to the salads.
You know what? No, but even carrots have fucking carbs in them.
Well, that's the other thing. People talk about, there's, one of the things they go, okay, make sure you don't eat fruit. I'm like, I'm not supposed to eat fruit? Fruit has too much sugar in it. I'm like, fruit has too much sugar in it?
Yeah.
God made fruit. God made too much freaking sugar and stuff?
I don't like fruit, so.
You don't like fruit?
I mean, there's a couple fruits that I like, but I would much rather have vegetables any day, every day.
Really?
Yeah.
I would a nice fruit bowl, I could go for that for days.
Yeah, I don't like sweet things as much.
Okay. Let me ask you, so let's go through what's your favorite fruit?
Probably mangoes.
Mangoes? Okay. Mine is everything. What's your favorite vegetable?
Oh my God.
I think I just broke your brain.
I know. There's so many. I love vegetables. Brussels sprouts.
Do you
I
put
love
anything?
myself some Brussels sprouts.
Do you ever put anything on the Brussels sprouts?
So I make them. I usually roast them. You know.
But do you put like any bacon in them or anything like that?
Yeah.
That should be a Tinder match right there. You want bacon, Brussels sprouts, boom, then you got Alex. That's how it works. You sit there and be like, hey.
I think that'd be really weird if someone just. Also, that's a terrible date food.
What?
Like Brussels sprouts.
Why is that?
Because they smell like shit. You know?
What's
and
a
you're probably
good
going to
date?
have a lot of gas afterwards.
What's a good date food?
Tacos. Maybe.
Oh,
Depends.
yeah, you talk about flatulence. I would say
You don't have to have like beans or shit.
from
on
a
your
guy's
tacos.
perspective, I would sit there and say you want to exude manliness.
Yeah.
So that's why I guess the
Steak.
go-to one, you got to go with steak.
I was good because like I can't eat salads on dates because I look like a fucking monster when I eat salads.
Everyone looks like a monster because you're just stabbing at it. And
No,
you're
but
just,
like my face is covered in just shit.
and also salad dressing.
Right.
But one of the things that always is tough was one time it was on a date and I ordered a sandwich and it was
You
like
went
a
on a
steak
date
sandwich.
once?
Yes, I did. Shut up. Anyways, so I'm eating and it it was just falling apart right in front of me. I just looked like the biggest freaking douche in the world. Yeah.
And that was the end of your
She
dating.
left.
dating life.
She just threw food at me and said, "I am out of here."
This
and
is disgusting.
You're a disgusting.
You're a
fat-
monster.
You're a piece of shit, and I hate you. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Okay, bye.
Anyways, yeah. So that was my 5 takes. Now we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be doing Teacher of Merit and Fresh Eyes, where we'll be going over the band Winger. It's the Mike Sasson Show. You're listening on www.riversedgepgh.com. We will be right back.
The Double L Bar, Grant Avenue, Millville, Pennsylvania, reminding you that you're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network.
You're listening to the Mike Sasson Show on the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com or on any of the podcast formats, iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play, or you're watching us on Facebook Live, or you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio. Again, join us May 12th for the Millville Music Festival. Me and Alex will be hosting the stage at Mr. Small's Theater, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And because of the fact that we care about community and we care about all of those wonderful things, every week when we have the opportunity, we honor teachers with our segment, Teachers of Merit. This week on Teachers of Merit, again, it's Teachers of Merit because we've got 2. The first one is out of Connecticut, Ryan Avery Fish. Ryan Avery was a new teacher. He was 23 years old, and he was a substitute teacher, a math teacher, and his students got a little rambunctious. And so his idea was, hey, why don't we have a fight club? Yeah, so essentially he organized a slap fight club in the class, and kids were getting like physically hurt.
That's incredible.
To the point to where some kids were getting slapped so hard that they were getting concussions and vomiting.
How do you slap someone so hard they get a concussion?
Oh, I've done it.
Jesus Christ! What kind of kids are these?
These are massive jack kids who were on the...
They gave them steroids and shit.
That's right. So when Ryan Avery Fish this is why he was a Teacher of Merit. They cornered him and said, hey, have you been doing this? And he goes, yes, I'm an idiot. That's their exact words. I am an idiot. And they asked him, why did you do this? And he goes, I just wanted the kids to like me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how you get kids to like you.
Yeah, it's just let them do whatever the hell
Don't
they
be
want.
a good teacher.
Yeah,
just have a fight club.
Just tell them to slap the hell out of each other. So congratulations to Ryan Avery Fish. You are a Teacher of Merit. But because I don't know if you're the number 1 Teacher of Merit. We might have to split the T-shirt that we have. But the number 1 Teacher of Merit this week is Charlie Jones Parker, a woman out of Alabama. She's very unique. She's a 31-year-old who had bedded 2 16-year-old students of hers. Now, the age of consent in Alabama is 16. Now, this is very critical because she's already been convicted. She's in jail for it, but she is appealing because she feels that the law that states that teachers shouldn't be allowed to have sex with their students is unconstitutional. She says that because of the fact that other professions are allowed to have sex with 16-year-olds, why shouldn't teachers? So she's taking it to a higher court because she feels that the law prohibiting teachers from having sex with their students is against the Equal Protection Clause in the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, Mike?
Sure.
Is there anything that says that you can't have sex with your doctor? Is that like a thing for doctors that is like, hey, you shouldn't have sex with your patients?
I think there's like it's not like illegal, I don't think, but again, like psychiatrists, that's always been the joke that you have like an affair with your psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Would you want to have an affair with a doctor?
I had a cute doctor for the first time last week.
Okay, then go for it. Rock that. What kind of doctor?
Go for it. Neurologist.
So that's the brain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he makes probably good coin.
He was a resident student, so he's still young.
There you go. Get him beforehand.
Yeah.
Boom. I'd say go for it.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Anyways, congratulations to Charlie Jones Parker, who is, again, trying to get her thing overturned because she says, hey, if I was a janitor, this was her honest to goodness thing. She says, hey, if I was a janitor, I could have sex with 16-year-olds, but because I'm just their teacher, I'm not allowed to do it. So
I mean, maybe just pick kids that aren't in your class. Does that make it okay?
yes, I think that makes it okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I don't. But see, here's the
No, I
thing.
know.
You see the woman. Did you? We showed the picture.
Yeah, I'll show it again.
Not exactly the most attractive woman in the world.
She has like a permanent face.
Yeah, she's very, very kind of southern, kind of, let's say she's a, softball coach type deal. And I would sit there and say if she wasn't the teacher, I don't think any 16-year-old boy would kind of go after that.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that she's the teacher made it a little bit more forbidden fruit, which I think, again, which is why they want to ban it. So, again, congratulations to Ryan Avery Fish and Charlie Jones Parker for your being Teachers of Merit. So you're going to have to share the T-shirt, though. It's a medium, isn't it?
What?
The T-shirt we have. It's a medium.
Oh, I thought it was a 5X.
We had the 5X, but remember we gave that to that really giant 700-pound teacher that had sex with the students?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to give that up. So now we just have the medium shirt.
Yeah.
All right.
So cut it in half, send it to both of them.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
top and bottom, or like split in the middle.
I think we're gonna just give one the sleeves and one like the thing to the. I think the one in Alabama would be the sleeveless, and the one in Connecticut would just want the sleeves.
Yeah, or maybe we just do front and back. They could just frame it.
There you go. Yeah, it's like a jersey that got retired.
Yeah,
and it just says Teacher of Merit. Congratulations to those two for Teacher of Merit. Next up is the segment in which I make Alex watch stuff from the past and get her take on it. Usually, she's not a huge fan of it. It's called Fresh Eyes. Play the song.
There's no love like a country girl with money.
This week in Fresh Eyes, tell you a little backstory. So I was listening to a podcast from Eddie Trunk. Eddie Trunk has been like on VH1, and he was talking about 80s bands. And someone was asking him a question of why 80s bands just went away just like that.
Because thank God.
Yeah, because that's Alex's take. But his point is he feels that, yes, they went away, and he goes, it was kind of unfair. And the band that he mentioned that he felt have been unfairly characterized as a joke was the band that I had Alex watch, which was Winger. Winger was Kip Winger, who at one time was the bass player for the Alice Cooper Band, which in musical terms, if you're a bass player or a musician for the Alice Cooper Band, it means you are an incredible musician. And I've talked to some musician fans and musician friends who say that Kip Winger is an absolutely fantastic musician. Also in the band is a local guy, Reb Beach, who actually went to Fox Chapel High School.
What?
That was one of the big deals, is that, the guitarist from Winger went to Fox Chapel. And they had 2 platinum albums, 6 top 100 singles. Again, the musicianship was off the charts. But because of the fact that eventually in the cartoon Beavis and Butthead, the nerd Stewart wore a Winger shirt, which indicated that, if you like Winger, it means you're like a nerd and you're kind of like a wimpy guy and stuff like that. they feel that destroyed their careers. And
That's what destroyed their careers.
yeah, and
yes.
that's why they did
Absolutely.
not continue as the greatest band in the history of the world. So, Alex.
Wait, I want to know, were you a fan of this band?
They were one of those bands that just existed, and because of the local angle, I was very kind of intrigued by them, but I would not have bought a ticket to go see Winger perform live.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I showed you 2 videos. One was their classic. Like, this is the one they closed the concerts with, 17.
So I had never even heard of this band.
Okay.
Ever.
All right.
In my entire life.
All right.
No one's even kind of mentioned it or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Okay.
So what was the song called?
17.
Yeah. First of all, what's this guy's name? Kip?
Kip Winger.
Is that his real name?
Yes. Absolutely his real name.
Kip.
Kip.
Who the fuck is naming their kids Kip?
Back in the 60s, apparently he's from Colorado, apparently. I Wikipedia him before the show. But his name is Kip. Well, the other guy's name is Reb, so...
That's better than Kip.
Okay. Kip.
Anyways, his teeth are way too fucking white. Honestly, that was... You know how in the... What was that one video where I could only stare at the dude's dick?
You mean the performance of Stairway to Heaven
Yes.
by Robert Plant?
Sorry, couldn't remember it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I could only stare at his teeth. His teeth have to be fake and they do not match his face or anything, and they're terrible, and I hate them. And he should just get out of here with those white strips that he's using.
Okay, recap your opinion of Kip Winger. You hate him. He should get out of here.
Stop using white strips.
Okay.
What are you doing? Get real teeth. Those are weird.
All right, but so the song though, 17
It's the creepiest song in the whole world. She is 17. If some guy that looked like this dude, Kip Winger, with those teeth, came to my house and wanted to take my daughter out, you best believe that I would be at his house with a shotgun.
Just if you don't remember the lyrics, she's only 17.
Yeah.
Her daddy thinks she's too young, but she's old enough for me.
Yeah. Disgusting. How even old were you when you wrote this song and thought that would be cool with anyone? And the fact that it was one of their best hits.
It was their hit.
It's so sad. How was no one this is the creepiest song ever, guys? Maybe we shouldn't support this.
In 1988-89, no. But you go to a Winger show and they still do tour. It's their closer.
Is no one listening to the lyrics? Are people just dancing along to it?
At the time, the Beatles had songs like "She Was Just 17." You know what I mean? There's
but it's not hey, and the video is not. It's a sexual thing, you know.
The 17-year-old girl is in shadow, and she's in a tight sundress and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
which means that she's 17.
Like
when you were 17 years old, I was a high school junior. Were you about a high school junior?
Yeah.
So Kip Winger, who was probably, let's just give him late 20s, is singing a song about a high school junior.
Yeah. Technically, I guess I was a senior.
Okay.
Either way,
it's
disgusting.
Go
home.
Okay.
Kip Winger.
All right. So the second song, "Headed for a Heartbreak," that was their power ballad. That was their light the lighters and kind of get the tissues out because they're trying to get the female fans and heartache and all that kind of stuff. What do you think of that?
He's heading for a heartbreak because he keeps going after 17-year-olds.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I hated this too. But I just want to know why did people like this? Why do women find this attractive?
That's the thing that's why I sent you the photo of it. The thing that people really kind of held against him was Kip Winger was supposed to be model good looking.
No. It does not appeal to me in the slightest.
Does he appeal to you?
No.
He's too fake.
No one in the band appealed to me.
You're saying he's too fake.
Yeah, his teeth are fucking stupid.
His teeth are fucking stupid.
You're
swiping left on him.
I can't do the hair. I really can't. I don't mind long hair.
Okay.
More power to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really mind it. But this hair is just too much.
It's just too.
They're
spends
going
way
a little
too much.
crazy with teasing it and the hairspray.
He spent more time on his hair than you do.
I understand that it was the 80s
Yeah.
and that was the shit, but I honestly just really don't like the 80s.
Okay.
Can we just take that decade out of history?
Okay.
I'd
Most
be
would
fine.
like to, yes.
Yeah. I'd be totally fine with that.
So, any redeeming value with this?
No. I even hated the way the music videos were done. They're like black and white with like a splash of stupid color.
Now, one of the things that was interesting about them is the fact that if you talk to, again, musicians, the other thing that they felt hurt their career was during the Metallica, there was a Metallica video called Nothing Else Matters.
Right.
In which Lars had a dartboard with Kip Winger's picture on it.
Yes.
And he felt that like his big comeback to Lars was like, hey, I'm a better musician than you. You couldn't play our stuff. We could play your stuff with our back behind him. And your response to Kip about the fact that, first off, have you become more of a Metallica fan that Lars had Kip Winger's picture on a dartboard?
Yeah, a little bit. A little, just slightly.
So of the bands that I have told you to have had you watch, would you say that this replaces Guns N' Roses as the worst?
I think I'd have to say so. And I think the fact that they don't take they won't admit that they are the reason that no one likes them.
Yeah.
That bothers me even more.
No, it's Beavis and Butthead, and it's Metallica putting the dartboard.
Just admit that you were terrible, and you should probably grow out of the shit that you did before. And if you are a really good musician, change it up.
Well, they still work. I mean, they do a lot of stuff. And
is it different? Is it still terrible?
Well, Reb Beach actually now he's the guitarist for Whitesnake.
Okay.
Do you know who Whitesnake is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he does. He's the touring guitarist for Whitesnake. So he does other stuff.
What's Kip Winger doing?
He actually wrote
Still
a classical
having sex with
piece.
17-year-olds?
Trying.
Yeah.
Every time.
How old is he now?
He's
50,000?
he's in his 50s, yeah.
Okay.
So right now you would say the worst of the Fresh Eyes segments has been Winger.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know if it would have been better if his teeth weren't so terrible.
What's worse, his teeth or the fact that he was singing a love song about a 17-year-old girl?
Ooh. Also a tough question, Mike.
I ask only tough questions.
I guess I would have to say his teeth.
Okay. The fact that he sang a song about a high school girl was not as bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if, could you imagine, though? I think that if it was called 16 and it was about a 16-year-old, people would be outraged. But the fact that it's 17, I feel like that's why people were kind of okay with it or are still okay with it for some reason, 16 and 17 sounds like a huge difference.
Yeah, they
when
made
you're
a
talking
magazine
about
called
having
17.
sex with them. Yeah.
And it's overt. It's not just hey, I think she's it's she's a mountain. I think she had one of them. He's a mountain. Okay, whatever. Okay, so
that was good.
Thank you. I could be Kip Winger again. Thank you very much for Fresh Eyes segment. Here's the thing, Alex. The segment is better when I pick something that
I
you
know,
hate.
but I hate it. I whenever you send me things, as soon as you send me the Fresh Eyes segments, I'm like, oh God, what's it gonna be this week?
We'll figure out something for next week. Again, thank you very much. Now we go to the segment that everybody loves, news and notes from the world of sports, gossip, and entertainment. The first story is actually a big news story right now. A high school girl out of Bradenton, Florida, Lizzie Martinez, went to school. She was wearing a long gray Calvin Klein shirt, but she had decided not to wear a bra that day. She went through about half the day and she got called to the office. When she went to the office, the principal, who was a female at the time, said, hey, we've gotten some reports that you have been getting some comments about that guys can see your nipples and that maybe your breasts are moving around. So we feel that it's a distraction. So we need you to put on a shirt underneath to make sure that your breasts don't move too much. She reluctantly did that. Eventually, they moved even too much then, and she was forced to go to the nurse's office and actually put 2 Band-Aids on each one of her nipples.
Jesus Christ.
In order to make sure that none of the boys made any more comments. Now, she went home. She was furious. She was embarrassed. She sat there and said this was terrible. Now, here's my thing. Here's my take. Why is nothing being done about the boys
Right.
who are making the crappy comments?
Shouldn't you just raise better children?
Yeah.
To like not be shitty dudes and like comment on this?
Now, let me ask you: did you ever wear something to school that you were sent home, or the principal said, "Hey, this is too provocative," anything like that?
No. The only time I ever had to change my clothes at school is when I peed my pants in kindergarten.
Okay. But now, had any of your friends ever done it? Well, like the principal's like, you need to stop doing that.
No, I don't think this was. I feel like this has been a lot more of a problem in like the past couple years than it ever was when I was in high school. Like I remember people having to like turn their shirts like inside out if they had something, you know, like
a swear word.
Yeah, or like a band T-shirt. Like I remember people always used to wear the Nirvana, you know, shirt with the baby on it, and like had to always like turn that one inside out. Or,
because that showed a baby's penis?
Yeah, you know, and that's, I guess, not appropriate.
High school is so ridiculous. That's one of the things when I coached high school football that I always noticed is that the people that are in the high school, they get so focused on thinking that what they're doing matters. And certain things do, like teaching people good English, like between does and do. But for the most part, you know what? Fight the battles that are important. Now,
Yeah.
if some woman decides that she doesn't want to wear a bra and she's wearing, you showed the picture where she.
Yeah, and it doesn't even honestly in this picture it doesn't even look like she's not wearing a bra.
But again, if a guy notices it and makes a comment, go after the guy and say, you know what, she's wearing, you know, it'd be one thing if she was like walking around topless or something like that.
Yeah, or wearing like a super short skirt, you know.
Yeah.
But
even then, just let it, you know, kind
also,
of.
dudes are gonna get distracted by anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I always hated like the rule that your tank top had to be a certain amount of like fingers in like width. I'm like, what is that doing? Are people really gonna be less distracted because like I have a 3-finger width tank top on?
This is how ridiculous it was when I was in school. When I was in middle school, we didn't have air conditioning in our middle school.
Yeah.
And again, for the first 2 weeks of like August through September, we could wear shorts.
Yeah.
But like after Labor Day, we were not allowed to wear shorts. And, you know, again, in Pittsburgh, sometimes it gets like 85, 90 degrees in like the middle of September. Sometimes it happens. And so we'd all be in our pants. And we thought it was unfair that girls got to wear skirts. And so what did one time about like 10 guys do? They all wore skirts to school.
Right.
And what happened? They all got suspended because it's a distraction and all this kind of stuff. And guess what those guys are doing now? They're parents. It doesn't matter. One of the coolest teachers that I ever had was a principal at that middle school. And this was before TVs were in everybody's classrooms. So it was during the Big East tournament, and Pitt was playing Georgetown in the Big East tournament like at a noon game. So he brought a TV into the lunchroom, and we were watching the game. And with about 5 minutes left in the game, the bell rings to go to everybody's classes. We all get up, and the principal sits there and goes, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And we're like, "Oh, we got to go." He goes, "It's 5 minutes left in the game." And so we're like, okay. We watch the end of the game. And he just sits there and goes, "I'll make an announcement. Just go back to your class." And he makes an announcement. He goes, "There will be certain people that had to do a special project for me. Please let them in. They were not late." And we all walked in. And here's what that teacher understood. Nothing that was going on that day was important. But Georgetown versus Pitt at noon was.
And like, what did you really lose from your life being 5 minutes late to that class? Like, it's not like you don't know something because of that. Like, you're perfectly fine.
I am a highly successful internet entertainer. I didn't need any school. Speaking of that.
I almost just fell off my chair.
I know, because of such a stupid statement.
Whew.
Anyway, so speaking of school, there is now talk, including my old alma mater, Fox Chapel. A bunch of people have come out and said, hey, you know what kids need in order to be more successful? Sleep. So they're actually starting a process, and which will take probably 15 years because that's how slow school systems are, to now they're going to move the start of the school day from 7:25 to 8:10 so that kids could maybe get a little bit more sleep.
See, I never understood the fact that like elementary school starts later than high school. That has never made sense.
It's all
to
about
me.
the bus schedules.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. You could figure that out, right?
you
You could just change it.
And as someone who, again, I talk to everybody, and one time I was talking to the superintendent at Fox Chapel, and she said point blank, she goes, our two biggest expenses, one is labor, meaning paying the teachers, and two is transportation costs.
Yeah.
And again, which you would sit there and say you'd have to buy more buses and gas up more buses and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, like, I would just change it so that, like, the elementary schools start earlier and then the high schools start later. You'd still have exactly the same
But
bus
the problem
schedule.
is then after school, the elementary school kids don't have football and soccer and cheerleading and band and all that kind of
Just
stuff.
keep them in school longer.
Keep who in school longer?
The elementary school kids. Just
So
keep 'em in
essentially you want to
school
run
all
you want to
fucking
run a
day.
daycare center.
Yeah.
But most parents would love that.
Yeah.
Most of the kids,
They're in school from 6 in the morning until 5 p.m.
parents would love that.
Yeah.
Parents would love, because ultimately parents hate summer and parents hate vacations.
Yeah.
Because then they have to take care of their stupid kids.
Right.
Because nobody likes their
Such
stupid
an
kids.
inconvenience.
I'm just saying let kids sleep more. I think school should start at like 11:30 and be done by like
3.
maybe 2:45.
Yeah.
Just condense it.
Yeah.
What were you doing most of the time in high school?
I mean, my senior year, I only went to school until noon, and then I left.
I had 3 study halls my senior year.
Yeah, my senior year, I had 5 classes. I left at noon. I had 5 classes. 3 of them were electives. One of them was a crafts class. I just made shit.
This was my class. Okay, here I my first period was drafting 4 that was taught by a football coach.
Yeah.
So I could have. I usually watched Sports Center and ate breakfast during it. Then we had TV, which again was just TV. Then I had, which was job experience, which is just I stayed in the TV room and edited stuff and watched more Sports Center.
Yeah.
Then I went to English. Then I went to lunch. Then I had history. Then I had another study hall.
Yeah.
So most of the day, I would show up at 7:30 and more or less be watching television and eating candy.
Yeah.
That was pretty much my senior year.
Yeah, I was the same way. My only real class, I think, was English, when that almost made me fail my whole senior year.
Really? What happened?
I plagiarized. Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Most
really,
people,
really.
like that's gonna hurt you in like your job.
Yeah,
like-
you could plagiarize in your job all the time.
Yeah, no one cares. Most people plagiarize anyway. Moving on. So let's just go into high school principals. Settle down. Moving on. The University of Connecticut, the greatest academic institution on the planet Earth,
Oh, okay.
has come out with a new study in which they analyzed the dryers in bathrooms and how cleanly they are, because they're supposed to save trees, because they're like, ooh, we're being ecologically sound because we're not using paper towels and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But what they have found out after analyzing the air that was coming out of the hair things, not hair things, but the dryers, is that they're putting basically about 60% poop. Because what happens is that, people flush, and when it flushes, if the seat's not down, which it's never down, the poop flies everywhere. So essentially the air, the kid catches it, and then when you put your hands underneath the air dryer, it's essentially covering your hands with poop.
I wish poop would just come out of them.
Just absolute poop, and then you just clean your poop.
Just little sprinkles.
Now, one of the things, though, that they said is this could easily be combated if they just put, like, HEPA filters in them, but that would cost too much money. So more or less just if you use your
Just
hair
buy
filter.
some fucking paper towels.
Well, okay, but then you're destroying trees.
Oh,
Here's what it comes down to.
we're gonna destroy them anyways.
Pretty much everything in the world is covered in poop.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah, the whole world is just, this whole planet is just covered in poop.
I mean, like, is it really that bad for us to
No.
be covered in poop all the time?
We've pretty much been, if you were to analyze what's in your hair, what's in your beard, what's in your, everything is poop.
Yeah, and just like, you need some bacteria every now and then.
That's exactly right.
You need some poop in your life.
You need some poop in your life. That's how it works. and make sure that you always do that. Another thing that you need in life is money. So one of the things that you always have those things of like, you know what, if I would have invested in blankety blank earlier in my life, I would have had all this kind of money. So someone actually did the math and found out how much money you would make if you would have invested $1,000 on the first day that the stock was made available, essentially meaning what they call IPO, initial public offering.
Okay.
So Netflix, if you would have invested $1,000 in May 2002, your investment would be worth $256,000.
Yeah. Now, how do you even know?
What do you mean?
How would you even know that Netflix is going to be what it is now? You know?
Because at the time, you remember the early days of Netflix, they were sending you DVDs.
Yeah.
They were essentially.
My parents still do that.
They really do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they still do that.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay, cool. That's got to be the low end of the totem pole at Netflix. You're the guy who still sends the DVDs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this is we created House of Cards. What do you do? We still send the DVDs.
Yeah.
Like there's still people that have AOL, on their.
Oh God, I hate those people.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, Apple. If you would have invested $1,000 in 1980, it would be worth $437,000.
Oh, I would have thought more.
Another one in May 1997, if you would have invested $1,000 into Amazon, it'd be worth $972,000.
That seems right.
But again, at the time, all they were was you could get books over the internet. That's it. That's all Amazon was at that moment.
Right.
So people were saying, "Oh, I wish I had $1,000." You never would have done that. Johnson & Johnson. If you would have invested $1,000 in September 1944, which again, if you had $1,000 in September 1944, you're like the third richest dude in America.
Good for you. You probably don't even need to invest in that.
Yeah. Well, someone did, and you would have been it would have been worth $1.2 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
See, that's how people there was a documentary on it was called Rich Kids, and it followed one of the kids who was like the heir to the Johnson & Johnson fortune. That's why those people are worth like $11 billion. Is because they invested $100,000 in 1944, and the stock just increased 200-fold and all that kind of good stuff. Another couple ones. If you would have been in the initial public offering of Microsoft in 1986, $1,000 would have turned into $1.259 million.
Yeah.
So pretty good. Initial public offering of Disney in 1957, $5.7 million right now. Initial public offering of Coca-Cola in 1919, $10 million.
1919, though.
Yeah.
You have to wait since 1919 to have $10 million.
Yeah. So it'd been like
I
your
guess
great.
that's worth it, but geez, you don't even see that in your lifetime.
Well, there's again, my first job out of college was with Coca-Cola, and they all have these stories of people who were like dirt farmers in Georgia.
Dirt farmers.
Who bought like $50 worth of stock in 1919, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and they kept reinvesting the dividend, and they own most of Atlanta now. Or they would have, for instance, they took their first payment because Coca-Cola didn't have money to pay them. So they gave them like stock options instead of like paying for pallets, and a pallet manufacturer is like worth $100 billion. Oh,
jeez.
Now the top one was if you invested $1,000 into Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Great dude.
1964, you would have done this. Your $1,000 investment would have been worth $16 million.
So we are failing at life.
I would say we should find the next Warren Buffett and take care of it from there. Speaking of first dates, you were talking about earlier about going on a Tinder date or all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting debate because a woman posted on Instagram. She went on a date with a guy and had, in New York City, so it was like tacos, beer, whatever. Her end cost about $36.
Yeah.
Because again, it's New York, so
everything's expensive.
Everything's expensive shit. So went on the first date, never really clicked. She ghosted him. Didn't respond to text, didn't do any of that kind of stuff. He kind of got peeved that he didn't get a response, so he sent her an invoice for his end of the date, for her end of the date, which she said, and then sent a text message like a week later and said, still do not have your payment. It is accumulating interest at this point.
Damn.
Please pay me. Now,
No.
what is your thought on this?
This is why I try not to have people pay for my things. I don't ever want this to happen to me. Also, my rule of thumb with dates is whoever initiates the date, that's who's paying.
Okay.
So, like, if I ask someone to go get dinner with me, I'm not going to make them pay for me, you know? 'Cause that's
Okay,
rude.
no. Okay. So, if you initiate, you ask a guy out, you say, hey, you want to go for tacos?
Yeah.
Are you paying for him or just yourself?
Yeah, I'm paying for both of us.
Okay, you're paying.
Unless he's like, I need to pay.
Okay. I would have no problems. But, and again, so you're throwing down the credit card, you're throwing down the black Amex, you're like, yo.
I'm doing it probably when they're in the bathroom so that they can't tell me no.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
Now, so on a first date, if let's say then it's one of your girlfriends.
Yeah.
She sits there and says, this guy sent me an invoice. What is your response?
I'm going to his house.
Really? You're kicking his ass?
Yup.
You're just punching the nose. But let me add, here's my only problem. I hate the concept of ghosting. Be an adult and sit there and say, unless the guy's like a psychopath, which if
Yeah.
you send an invoice, you probably are one.
Yeah.
But if just flat out not, if the guy says, hey, I'd really like to see you again, all you need is a text to say, Jim, I'll be honest with you. I'm not looking to see anybody right now, and I appreciate we had a good time, but thank you very much. I would appreciate if you don't, respond, whatever.
Right.
That's what an adult does.
Yeah. I feel like the only way, like you said, like if you said that and then the guy kept messaging you and
Yes.
stuff like that, like, okay, then you can ghost him.
Yeah.
You did your part in telling him that it wasn't right and letting him go. If he continues to be ridiculous, then
What's
it's okay to
your
ghost.
opinion on ghosting?
I mean, I do it all the time. It's not typically on purpose though. Like typically I just forget. I just forget to message people back. I never message you back.
You do, but it just takes a while.
It would take like 6 weeks.
I would say an average is like, what happens is eventually you have to message me.
Yeah.
You find
And I have to answer the other
you
one.
find that there's a message there, and you go, oh, by the way, Mike, sorry I couldn't pick you up at the hospital. And then I go, well, don't worry, a nice hobo did. And
Yeah.
there
But
we
I
go.
do it all the time, and I feel so guilty all the time because I'll answer people like a week later. And I'm like, I swear to God, I am not trying to ghost you. It's just I have no memory in my brain, and I'm just sorry. There's a lot of things
Okay,
happening.
that's not ghosting. That's just the fact that you're mentally deficient. But flat out ghosting, meaning I see the message and I'm not responding to it.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too.
Okay.
I just did that the other day.
Ooh, what was?
Someone sent me a weird meme, and I wasn't about it. It was the person who messaged me on Instagram.
Okay, that's different. That's an unresponsive. But I'm talking, you went out on a date with someone.
Oh, yeah.
They are a decent human
Yeah,
being.
see, that's different. If you have initiated some form of contact and you have gone out on a date with someone, yeah, you should not ghost that person. I don't do that. I don't think.
See, my thing is I've had situations where, I've been friends with someone, whatever, and then I message them, and then I get nothing back, and then they see me in person, and they're like, hey, what's up? And I'm just like,
Hey, you didn't message me. What are you doing? Why are you talking to me?
I'd
Get
be
out
like,
of my face.
yeah, and that's exactly how I do. That's the exact voice I'm doing.
Get out of my face.
So we agree that you understand where the guy's coming from,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a psycho move.
Yeah, don't send an invoice to someone. Just suck it up. Pay for the bill. God, don't be a crazy person.
And just realize that this woman is here's how I make myself feel better in those situations. She's ultimately a bad person. She's going to find another bad person, and she's going to have a really awful life.
Yep. And someone's probably eventually going to pay for your meal.
Boom.
And, karma. I don't know.
Someday. All right. Mentioning money and all that kind of good stuff. In Argentina, they made a huge bust of marijuana.
Yay.
18,000 pounds of marijuana. So then eventually someone decided, hey, let's count all this marijuana. And they went, hey, wait a minute. There's supposed to be 18,000 pounds of marijuana. There's only 16,000 pounds. We're missing a ton of marijuana. Like literally a ton of marijuana. And the cops went like, I don't know where it is. And they're like, you're the only guys with keys to this. Where's the marijuana? And instead of just which I would have done, which is like, I don't know. I just would have kept doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What do you mean? I don't know. That's all I would have done. They made up the stupid lie of, you know what? The police holding cell where we have all the weed, it's filled with mice. The mice ate the weed.
Super high mice.
Yeah. So, but here's where the judge in the case got smart. He brought in an expert on rodents and said, oh, by the way, do mice eat marijuana? And the guy was like, no.
Nope.
And if the mouse did eat marijuana, you'd have a bunch of dead mice around the weed because it would have killed them.
This is the most adorable little picture of a mouse I've ever seen. It is so cute. His little tongue is adorable.
Because he wants that marijuana plant. He's like,
so cute. I always wanted a mouse.
I want that weed. I want that weed.
If I did have a mouse, I would feed it weed.
You'd feed it weed, but then you'd kill it.
Well, just a little bit.
The smartest
Give him
thing
a
you
little
would,
hit,
the smartest thing you could do if you wanted to get the mouse high would just be smoke it yourself and blow the smoke in its face. That's what you do.
As long as he opens his mouth like this little mouse, he's like, ah.
And then
his tongue is so cute. He's just so cute.
Yes, that's why I did this. To point out the fact that the cop was an idiot and the fact that the mouse was adorable. Something else that was adorable. Sweden, as we mentioned before, they're like Denmark. They're one of those weirdo kind of Scandinavian countries.
Okay.
In Stockholm, like you'd think Stockholm's super progressive type deal. Well, an artist put on the side of a building a piece of art, which was a giant blue penis.
Beautiful, by the way. Beautifully crafted.
Beautifully crafted giant blue penis. Like if a guy had a blue penis, but it looked like this, you'd be like, okay, I can deal with it.
Hell yeah.
It's a nice penis. Anyways, this is where it got weird for me. The neighborhood in Stockholm, Sweden, they got all uppity and said, hey, you got to get rid of that picture of that giant blue dong. And they painted over it.
But why?
Exactly. It brings so much ambiance to the community to have a giant blue penis.
Honestly, it's like having trees in the neighborhood.
Exactly.
I think it fits.
That looks like where there'd be, like if you were to design something, like design a neighborhood, and you'd say, well, what goes on that wall? You'd be like a giant blue male member.
It adds a pop of color. The street that it's on is very bland in the colors. Like it's just a lot of like browns and tans. It adds a nice pop of color that I think they probably should have kept there.
It was done by a artist named Carolina Folkart. And the reason why she says that is she says she wants to get people accepting of bodies.
Yeah.
So she paints breasts and vaginas all over like neighborhoods. Like she did a pink dong in New York City, and that was brought down in 5 days.
Yeah.
And she says the reason why is she says people need to be more accepting of their bodies.
I'm going to have her come paint my house.
What color dong would you want?
Ooh. Oof.
I asked tough questions.
Yeah, I know.
The orange? Do you want it to match your hair?
No.
Okay.
No. I feel like that would be too kind of close to skin color. I think I want turquoise.
Turquoise?
I like the yellow background. I think I would like a nice turquoise with a yellow background.
Let me ask you a question.
It's very beachy.
Would you, if a guy came to your house, would you offer to paint his dong turquoise?
Probably not.
Really?
I feel like that would be weird.
It would be matching the turquoise dong on the side of your house.
I don't know. Do you think guys would not be happy with it because they would just always compare themselves to this giant turquoise dong on the side of my house?
I think most people would understand that, like, hey, it's just a piece of art, and that's where dongs are welcome.
Or do you think that I would have guys lining up at my door because they'd be like, hey, this girl likes dongs?
It'd be like putting like a burger outside of Burger King. People like, hey, home of the Whopper, home of the giant blue dong.
Yeah, okay. I got it.
There you go.
So I'm getting one.
Last story. You're a huge fan of the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And for $600, you could do something that I think is so you.
So me.
You can get married at a Taco Bell in Las Vegas.
Yeah, already planning it. Already doing it, Mike.
For only $600.
I know. What a bargain. Honestly, I feel like I could have a cheaper wedding than that.
Yeah.
Because I could do without some of the things that they are offering in this little package.
I would love to be married at like a Chick-fil-A or a Taco Bell.
The only thing I don't want is they have little champagne flutes of Baja Blast.
Okay.
And I'll just be honest with you, I'm not a fan of Baja Blast.
You'd want real champagne.
Yeah.
Could you bring your own booze?
Booze. I would hope so.
Yeah. But I think that would be a nice touch.
My favorite part about this is the taco sauce bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
That is my absolute favorite part, and it's so cute. Didn't I ever tell you that, like, the way that I want to be proposed to is with Taco Bell sauce packets?
No.
No.
Well, now I know.
Yeah, now you know. See,
Okay.
I don't like
What flavor? What level?
Oh, it depends.
Like on what?
On the person. How fiery our love is.
Okay. But I would then go fire because I would want to say that our love is on fire.
Yeah, but, like, sometimes I feel like hot is necessary.
Wouldn't you be going down to hot after a couple years of marriage?
Honestly, it's probably whatever ones the person can find with the thing that says, will you marry me on it. That's probably the most likely option because they are somewhat hard to find now.
Now, I said Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A. Is there any other fast food place that you would get married at?
I do. I would really love Chick-fil-A. I'd like to have some chicken nuggets at my reception. No, I think that's it. I mean, I already planned to have tacos at my wedding, you know?
You need a taco bar.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a taco bar and steak. Those are my options. That's what you get.
And everyone is going to love Alex's wedding. Thank you very much. That was news and notes. Sad thing to announce. This happened today. Arlie Emery, who was the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket, one of my favorite movies of all time. Mm-hmm. He was just the crazy. Have you ever seen Full Metal Jacket?
No.
Okay, he's the crazy drill instructor. Supposedly, the Full Metal Jacket's in two parts. One, they're in Parris Island, South Carolina, where they're becoming Marines, and then the second part, they're in Vietnam, being Army soldiers, or actually Marine soldiers. Mm-hmm. And the first part of the movie is so dark on how this guy ripped people as a drill instructor, and the way he got the job was one of those cool Hollywood stories. He was actually just the technical consultant for the movie. Yeah. And so he's trying to teach actors how to be drill instructors. Yeah. And Stanley Kubrick eventually sits there and says, no, everybody's getting it wrong. Do it like this. Do it like this. And eventually everybody just goes, why don't you just hire this guy? Yeah. And that's how he got to be in the movie.
That is a cool story.
Like, the second coolest story that's like that was, did you ever hear how Han Solo or Harrison Ford got the Han Solo part?
No.
Okay. So he was in American Graffiti, George Lucas's first movie. And after that, he wasn't doing real well, so he was a carpenter. Mm-hmm. So he was actually making cabinets for George Lucas. So George Lucas, still his buddy, kind of sits there and goes, hey, I'm making this movie. I'm auditioning actors and actresses to be in this movie. I'll let you read with them. And so Harrison Ford sits there and goes, okay, whatever. It's still, I want the same rate that I would if I was, making cabinets for you. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah. So he sat on a couch and read with Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill and all these other kind of people for, whatever. And eventually they were on the videos, and the people who are picking like the movies sit there and say, okay, I really like him for Luke Skywalker. I really like him for her for Princess Leia. And that guy, I think, would be a good Han Solo. And he's like, no, that's just the guy reading. He goes, no, I really think he'd be a good Han Solo. And that's how he got to be awesome. Han Solo. I love those stories. Yeah. I really like those cool stories.
What was the sad thing that happened?
What do you mean the sad thing that happened?
I thought you said there was a sad thing that happened.
Yeah, Did that
guy die?
Yeah, not Han.
I don't know if you said that.
Yeah, Arlie Emery's dead at 74.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know if you said that part. I think you just went into the story, so I was confused.
Oh, my bad. Maybe I said it, maybe I didn't. Dead. But if you didn't know, yeah, that guy who was in Full Metal Jacket, yeah, he's dead. But Harrison Ford, still alive. Except in The Force Awakens, he dies in that.
Whoa. So. Spoiler alert.
The movie's been out for 4 years.
Yeah. Doesn't mean everyone's seen that.
Okay. All right. Well, he dies. The guy, Adam Driver, kills him.
Ugh, love Adam Driver.
Yeah. Well, he kills his dad.
Love him.
Kills his dad in the movie. By the way, former Marine.
I know.
There you go. All right. Now the last segment of the show. Comment your ass off. Alex, play the song.
There we go.
Say hello to the world. Say hello to the villain that's been you.
Okay, go ahead. Comment your ass off while we read your comments. And again, even after the fact, if this show isn't live right now, or if you're listening on the River's Edge or YouTube or whatever like that, or on TuneIn Radio, find us on Facebook Live, like our show, The Mike Sasson Show, and comment, and we'll respond to said comments. Go ahead, Alex.
The River's Edge commented and said it's about to get a lot easier to watch and listen to us because they have some ideas in the works.
Oh, I love
dun,
ideas.
dun.
I love ideas. I'm a big fan of ideas.
And Nicholas said, I'm late to the party. What's about to get easier? Listening to us.
Listening.
No way.
Watching us. Experiencing the
You're
River's
gonna be
Edge.
so sick of us.
It's gonna get honestly obscene where we're gonna be everywhere. Like, you ever seen like how like Bob's Discount Furniture, like that Bob guy is now everywhere because he's trying to sell furniture.
Bob.
We're gonna be that level of annoying in this market.
River Talk commented and said, spoke about this today because it had to do with our cocaine talk.
Mm-hmm.
This woman claims that wind blew cocaine into her purse.
That could happen.
Totally possible.
God,
I mean, wind is a crazy, crazy thing.
Wind is nuts. I mean, let's say it's on a stripper's butt. Then the wind goes and blows it. You're walking by. Boom, the cocaine goes in there.
Yeah, I mean, I've had cocaine blow all the way up my nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you're just walking down the street. You're like, what a beautiful day. Let me just smell those flowers. Uh-oh, cocaine's up my nose.
Yeah, because I don't know if you've ever been in downtown Pittsburgh, but there's cocaine dusting all of the flowers.
Yes. That's mostly what the buildings are made of these days, is mostly cocaine.
Ron Renwick says for my date that they should take me to Scarps for Wings.
There you go. Would that work for you?
I honestly probably don't want to eat wings in front of them. But then I could show like my real self. And like, this is me. If you don't love me like this with wing sauce all over my face, you're never going to love me.
That's a song. That's like a feminist anthem.
It really is.
If you don't love me with wing sauce on me, then you can kiss my ass.
It started out really good and then just right downhill.
Yeah. That's mostly everything I create pretty much starts pretty good, then crashes.
True that.
Burns.
Sam says, is this show always in color? It is in color. Why we wouldn't have it not in color? Because then people couldn't see how beautiful my hair was.
That's the only reason we do have it colored, just so you understand.
To be honest, yeah.
Facebook charges extra for that, but we demand that we pay the extra for the color because of Alex's hair.
Sam also commented and said, who designs the wonderful set you use?
The same people that design most of the sets on Broadway.
Yeah. And also the people who designed Disneyland and all of the rides in Disneyland. Them.
Most of them are currently dead, but before they died, they're the Imagineers at Disney.
The Imagineers.
They created this set in 1967 and then died.
They died while creating it.
They drew the last line and they went, eh.
You know how people always die when they build brick things and there's people stuck in the bricks, you know? That's what happened.
Imagineers are actually in this desk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's Steve.
There's a couple fingers sticking out and shit.
Who knows?
Anyway, that was it. That's it. Thanks
cool
for
deal.
all your
Thank you
comments.
very much to everyone. Again, May 12th, the Millville Music Festival. We'll start having some of the acts come on and tell you about their wonderful lives and about being part of the greatest music festival in the history of the North Hills. My name is Mike Sasson. That is Alex Clemens. You continue to listen to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. We'll be back next week. It's going to be a beautiful happening. You're going to want to be a part of it. It's The Mike Sasson Show. Bye.